Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. It's your boy Mike D, a.k.a. DDE80, a.k.a. 13th Wonder of the World. And again, happy Valentine's to everybody on this Friday, February the 14th, 2025. It's almost 2 o'clock in the PM down here down south, man. Shout out to the Point Place family. Shout out to Bobby Reezy. Shout out to M. Breezy. Naya, my sister. I love all y'all. Thank y'all for listening to The Point of View on the Podbean app as well as YouTube. Man, I was on a roll, man. I was coming on here every day until something happened to my phone. So my phone went out, ladies and gentlemen, but I got another phone, and I might not have this one for long because I'm thinking about getting a new one. But right now, I got to make sure that everything is on the up before I do it. But anyway, I'm still going to talk about the point of view on this Friday. First of all, I want to say to all the fellas and to all the ladies and everybody that's loving somebody, even if it's a significant other or a family member, let them know that they are very important on this day. Let them know that Valentine's Day is a day of love. So let us love everybody. Let's make our significant others happy, or even make our children happy or something. You know, let's just love on this Friday, ladies and gentlemen. You guys enjoy your Valentine's Day today. I'm quite sure it's going to be very special for a lot of you, especially you that are husband and wife, especially you that are long-time boyfriend, girlfriend. Sorry about the beeping in the back. And those of you that are entering a new situation. So, you know, embrace the day and have fun with it, ladies and gentlemen. Also, tonight, while you're doing that, if you got time, check out WWE SmackDown, Friday Night SmackDown tonight, as well as also the NBA on ESPN and TNT. The All-Star Weekend is starting in Oakland, and Steph Curry's building tonight. It's going to be interesting to see. I wonder, will he be one of those that they give the All-Star MVP to? I don't think Steph has ever won an All-Star MVP, but that would be a great accomplishment for him while it's happening. All-Star breaks are fun. All-Star Weekend is fun, but sometimes it can be a little boring. Hopefully they can get back to where it's fun like back in the day when Jordan and them played. Even when Kobe and LeBron was playing, when LeBron was playing early in his careers, the All-Star Weekend was fun. The slam dunk contest, they had took out for about 3 seasons back in the 90s because they didn't, see nothing until Vince Carter came back and brought that thing back, and now it's an opportunity for Matt McClung to possibly win the slam dunk contest for the 3rd time in his career. That'd be a great move for him if that happens. So, with that being said, let me also say what I want to say about the NBA. The trade deadlines and the moves that were made in the NBA this past trade deadline was absolutely phenomenal. We saw Luka Doncic go to the Lakers. The Lakers actually lost to the Jazz the other night. It's going to take a little time for them to get themselves together. They're back 5th place because the Clippers have been winning. The Clippers beat Utah. But everybody has to remember, the Lakers had already beaten Utah the day before they played them again. So LeBron was ready for the All-Star break. Bronny is playing absolutely great in the G League. I'm like everybody else now. I wish, and I know that's LeBron's son, but I wish that Bronny would stay in the G League until next season. Bringing him back, taking him back and forth from there, that is no. For him to only get those 3-4 minutes in the NBA game in a blowout or something like that, because when it's a close game, he's not going to play. So I would love to see him in the G League permanent for right now, because he's killing in there. He's playing absolutely great. And so that's what it is. I wish that DJ Barnes was in the NBA. I wish he would have gotten drafted to go to the NBA because he made NC State a powerhouse. And he was one of the best players in college last year. He was competing against Zach Edey, excuse me. And for him not to have a shot in the NBA, that's just crazy. This guy was like the second coming of Zion. And I don't know where he's playing at now. He may be playing overseas or something, or he may be just, doing what he could do. I wish that he probably could have went to the G League. I don't know what happened to DJ Barnes, but I wish that a team would give him a chance. And I'm gonna say this, and I know a lot of people. I know I like the Lakers, but let me tell you this. Let me just go ahead and shoot this out here. He was better than Bronny. He was better than Bronny because he should have gotten that pick from the Lakers, and somebody could have picked him up, but they didn't. And I think he could have fit the bill for what the Lakers were trying to do and everything. So shout out to him. Wherever he's at, I hope everything is okay with him. I hope he's okay. And I'm hoping that he does get a chance to be in the NBA. And that's DJ Barnes I'm talking about. That played for NC State last year. March Madness is almost around the corner. You guys are going to have to get ready to get your brackets together. My bracket be busted after the first week. I don't know how far Michigan State's going to go this year. I will say this, and I'm going to talk about college just for a little bit for the teams that I see. Michigan, they're okay. I think they got a chance to do a little something in the dance. Cooper Flag and Duke has a chance to do something in the dance. Houston are always in the mix of it. I thought that they were going to probably win the thing last year, but they didn't. UConn, even though UConn is not ranked, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, do not never estimate the heart of a champion. Rudy Tom Jonathan said that back in the day when, exactly 30 years ago, when the Houston Rockets were one of the lowest seeds in the NBA, which was 6, and they came back and they won the championship. So never underestimate the heart of a champion. UConn is in that thing, and Hurley could possibly get those boys back to the NCAA finals, to the championship. So that's a thing that you got to watch out for. UCLA in the women's division, Juju and them put a whooping on them. Paige and those girls, it's the FloJo. It's going to be South Carolina. You know they're going to be in the mix as well. You know that LSU with Kim Mulkey's going to be in the mix. You know that Juju and USC is going to be in the mix. Paige is going to be in the mix with her team. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in this March Madness as it starts coming up. The missing pieces and the moving parts are coming forward, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be interesting. We're going to see what happens with all of this coming abroad, ladies and gentlemen. Also, let me also say this here. I do want Michigan to win the championship. Michigan State, the Spartans, to win and get to the Final Four and get to the championship. I think Izzo is one of the greatest coaches of all time in college history. When you talk about great college coaches, you've got to talk about guys like Boeheim or even Krzyzewski, because Mama didn't like him. My mama did not like him because of the way he looked, but he's a great coach. Roy Williams, Dean Smith. You've got Red, Bobby Knight, the guy Jerry Tartanian, the one that used to bite his towel for UNLV. Steve Fisher with the Fab Four with Weber, Jawan Rose, and those boys. You've got to put Nolan Richardson with Arkansas. You know, there's some great coaches out there that was out there in the college game. Like I said, you got to put Coach K, John Calipari. You know, he's a part of history as well. So, you know, it's interesting to see who else is there that's going to be a part of history this year. Dan Hurley's a part of history. But Izzo is also a part of history, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Izzo is one of those Michigan State Spartan guys. So we're not going to, and I know that's my team, but we're not going to count him out like he didn't do anything. And I'm talking about it in men's college basketball. I'm not talking about the women's, because there's some great coaches there. Of course, Don Staley, of course, the late, great Pat Summitt, Gino, of course, Vivian Stringer. There's some great coaches. There's Pokey Chapman was a great coach until I don't know what happened with her. Kim Mookie is a part of the great coaching thing in the women's division as well, women's college basketball as well. But I'm saying I'm going back to the men's division, and I want everybody to know that Tom Izzo is also one of those great ones, man. Tom Izzo is a part of the greatness, man, of college basketball. So let's not just omit the stuff he's done. He's made history as well too. So let's switch gears and let's talk about the NBA for a few minutes. Who needed this All-Star break? I can name one team that needed it besides the Lakers. The Golden State Warriors needed it. You want to know why they needed it? Because Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green has got to learn how to get themselves together to play with each other. And I think they will. I think the Warriors will have a huge push, try to get to the play-in, because I don't think they're going to be a 6 or 7 seed. I don't think they're going to be 8. I think they'll probably be, let me say this. I think they could possibly be an 8 seed team. And if I'm OKC, I do not want to play Golden State in the first round. If I'm Houston, who I think has the 2nd seed right now, I would not want to play Houston in the first round. I would not, if I'm Golden State, if I'm Houston, I don't want to play Golden State in the first round. Not the experience that Steph Curry and Draymond Green has, along with Looney, because Looney's also still there. So you still got some of the guys that's on that team that's won championships. Gary Payton's son, he's still there. Moses Moody, he's starting to show out a little bit. They've got some rookies, they got some young guys that can make some noise. And I will tell you this, I think the Warriors, after Jimmy signs this extension with the Warriors, which he said he wasn't going to do at first, but he's going to do it now, they're going to scrape up the little money that they have left after the extension with Jimmy and go out there and try to get somebody else. The Warriors need a big man. And I'm going to tell you something like this. If you get a guy like a Valanciunas or a Nurkic, man, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to beat them. Alex Len is now with the Lakers. I wish they would have got Mo Bamba, but they didn't. Let me say this. If the Lakers would get Bo would play more with J.J. Redick than what he's doing right now with Budenholzer and Phoenix. Now, he played great the other night, but that's because they gave him a chance. The only problem with Bo is Bo, he doesn't move around. He's not running the court like the athletic guys there is. But other than that, the Suns need this break, because maybe after this All-Star break, they can make a push to get into the play-in. I'll tell you somebody else. Dallas needed this break. This gives Anthony Davis a chance to heal up, get himself together, and try to get these boys into the playoffs after the month. This is why I said the All-Star break is very important. Giannis needed this break because he's out with an injury. The Bucks are trying to make a hard playoff push as well. Now, you talk about some other teams. Let's talk about Atlanta Hawks for a minute. When they lost DeAndre Hunter, they lost one of their best players. That was a great trade for him to Cleveland. The Cavaliers is already stacked in the front, and you add a 6'8", 6'9" guy along with Mobley 6'10". Jared Allen is 7'2". Hunter is about 6'8". So you've got 3 big bodies, long arm guys in the post. And then you got, of course, the 2 small guys in Mitchell and Garland. But that front court is hard. That's like going up against Tim Duncan and David Robinson, and that's like going up against Ralph Sampson and Akeem Olajuwon. That's like going up against Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Dwight Howard when the Lakers were in the bubble winning. That's a hard combination. That is a hard combination to try to maintain. Speaking of the All-Star break, I will give my prediction on that Sunday. I think Sunday we will see who's going to win the tournament. I think Team LeBron will probably win, which is on Team Shaq. There's a possibility that Chuck has a huge team, because I think Chuck has those big guys out there. So we'll see what happens with that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let me switch gears for a minute, because I know today is Valentine's Day, and I know a lot of people want to get to, spending time with their lovers, their significant others, and things like that. So let me switch gears and let's talk about wrestling for a minute. Cora Jane has got the best of both worlds right now. She's going for the NXT Women's title, and she's also going to be a #1 contender soon for the TNA Women's title against Masha Slamovich. She may not win nothing. I don't think she's going to win, because I don't think they're going to take the belt off Julia just yet. Roxanne Perez is just chasing the title. Roxanne Perez is going to be a part of the main main roster, which means she's going to be a part of the main event at the Elimination Chamber, where she gets a shot at going up against probably Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. That would be a huge opportunity for her if she could win the Elimination Chamber. But I still think, and I could be wrong, ladies and gentlemen, I still think that Bianca Belair is the favorite to win at the Elimination Chamber. I think that it's going to be Rhea Ripley, because WrestleMania they're going to want a huge match at WrestleMania. And why not make that match between Bianca and Rhea Ripley? Because here's why I'm saying that. Because you want people to be in Vegas to see that match. The adrenaline rush is going to be pumping. The moving parts are going to be there. I think that's the match you go with. And let me also say this. They're going to bank off of WWE 2K25, which is going to come out next month. I think it's March 7th. The early guys get it March the 7th, which I'm going to get the early access to it. I probably won't. I don't have a PS5, so I'm going to go with the old regular PS4 situation. I'm going to miss the Island of Relevancy, the Roman Reigns hood or house or his establishment, things like that. But also, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this. I think that you do go with Bianca versus Rhea, or you could make something fresh happen. Alexa Bliss versus Rhea Ripley. That would be interesting. That would be an interesting matchup. Bayley and Rhea Ripley, that could possibly be a match, but I think it's going to be Here is the big thing, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me say this. We could see Roxanne Perez wrestle at WrestleMania this year by two ways. Her winning the Elimination Chamber would be one. But what about if she had a showcase match against Bayley and she beats Bayley? What do you think about that? That would be very interesting because Bayley could lose to Roxanne Perez at Mania like Fandango beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania back in the day, 10 years ago. So that's interesting. That is very interesting to see happen. And speaking of Fandango, he did not beat Lexis King, excuse my French, Lexis King Tuesday. So now he's back in TNA, and they got to figure out what's next for him and Lexis King. I'll tell you what, tomorrow pay-per-view is going to be This is the thing right here. WWE is going to be competing with the NBA All-Star Saturday night, and they're also going to be competing with AEW's Grand Slam. That's going to be a lot of remote surfing, channel surfing going on tomorrow night, because you're going to have to figure out what you want to watch. Are you going to watch Oba destroy A-Town Down Under? Are you going to watch who's going to win the three-point shootout? Is it going to be Damian Lillard again? Because Lillard has an opportunity to win it 3 years in a row. He could pull a Craig Hodges. Craig Hodges, and let me say this, and I said this for a reason, and I'm going to go back to wrestling, but this is a side note I want to say. Craig Hodges is one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time, and he does not get the recognition that he deserves. Craig Hodges won championships with Michael Jordan, and nobody shows him no type of respect at all. That man was one of the greatest shooters to shoot the game. You don't shoot the ball. You don't hear nobody talk about him or Dale Ellis. They'll talk about Mark Price. Yes, they will. They'll talk about Mark Price. But even the great Larry Bird. And I don't knock none of those, because those were the guys that did what they did in the NBA. They were that good. But you had guys like Craig Hodges, who could shoot that thing from three. You had guys like Dale Ellis, who could shoot that thing from three. Steph Curry's dad, Dale Curry, was a marksman from downtown. You had guys like that. Even Chris Mullin can shoot the three. Not only that, let's talk about some other three-point shooters that nobody really talks about. Danny Ainge was a great shooter. He was a great three-point shooter. He could shoot that ball. John Paxson was a great three-point shooter. Steve Kerr was a three-point shooter. You know what I'm saying? Could shoot that thing from the three-point land. But you don't hear them talk about that as much. And I know we're in a different era where Steph Curry pulls up from 40. Dame Lillard pulls up from 40. We know that Trae Young can shoot the three. But come on, guys. You're not in the league if it wouldn't have been for guys like Dale Ellis and Craig Hodges. Craig Hodges could shoot. He's one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. Reggie Miller, one of the greatest shooters of all time from three. Ray Allen, one of the greatest shooters that could shoot the ball from three, man. You guys got, if you're going to talk about your future, you got to know your present and your past. You got to know your past three-point shooters. And those guys were great. Those are some great shooters, ladies and gentlemen. But back to wrestling. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on SmackDown tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on SmackDown tonight because of the Elimination Chambers. Qualification matches are still going on. Tonight's going to be Damian Priest versus Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman. I can tell you right now, with all due respect to Braun Strowman, he is not going to the Elimination Chamber. It's going to be either Damian Priest or it's going to be Jacob Fatu. Now, what I will say is this. If Fatu loses, he's not going to be the one to get pinned. It's going to be Braun Strowman. Or, if Jacob Fatu wins, Damian Priest probably will not be the one to get pinned. Unless they want Damian Priest to eat that loss, eat a pin, I don't see him getting pinned. I do see Braun Strowman getting pinned tonight. That's an if, and a but. I do believe that with all due respect to Braun Strowman, but he is not the monster that he was 7 years ago. He's not that anymore. He is now a regular wrestler that gets gooned because they want him to eat losses. They want him to eat pins. And that's exactly what he's doing now. He's not the same Braun Strowman that used to be flipping over carts and throwing Roman Reigns around and things like. He's not that anymore. He's just a regular competitor that's out there showcasing. You notice he does not have any type of tag matches. He does not have any type of matches that he's in or anything like that. So I don't know what else could happen for him. I know that him and Ricochet would have made a great tag team, but they didn't give it to him. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me also talk about something else. There is a new recruit in the Judgment Day. Nobody knows who it is yet. Nobody knows who it is. I don't know who it is. I haven't heard about it. I know that Finn Balor could be on the way out of the Judgment Day. I don't think that Finn's going to be with them much longer because it's a revolving circle with the Judgment Day. First, it was Edge. They kicked Edge out. Him and Priest kicked out Edge. They kicked out Edge for Finn Balor. They kicked Finn Balor out for that. Then it was Rhea Ripley, who was a part of the Judgment Day. When it first started, they kicked Rhea Ripley out for Raquel and Liv Morgan. So guess what else happens? Damian Priest gets kicked out. They had JD there, but they kept JD and they added Carlito, but they kicked out Damian Priest. So guess what happens now? The new leader, and I'm telling you, these guys were the leaders of the Judgment Day. That's why they're doing it. Now they have to decide on who is going to be next. Nobody knows. From what we've heard and from what the dirt sheets are saying, they're not saying who's the new leader and the new member of the Judgment Day. But I will tell you this. If it's somebody from AEW coming back to WWE, it's going to be interesting. Do I think that Malachi Black could be the newest leader of the Judgment Day? Absolutely. You want to know why I say Malachi Black? Because he can fit what they're doing with the Judgment Day. That means Finn Balor could go out and he could become the regular Finn Balor again. Because that's what's going to happen. He's going to end up getting eliminated out of the Judgment Day. It's coming. It's coming. He will, I guarantee you, by WrestleMania, and either before, well, I think it's going to happen before WrestleMania. I think it's going to happen before SummerSlam. Finn Balor will be out of the Judgment Day. And that, you can believe that, you can bank on that, because I'm telling you right now what's going to happen. Unless they make a stipulation where they lose and all of them go, that could possibly happen too. That's why they put Damian Priest on SmackDown, because they did not want him fighting with Finn Balor anymore. You know, one of them had to leave, and they decided to let Damian Priest leave. That's why he came to SmackDown. It would have been interesting if Finn would have went, but if Finn Balor would have went, what was the story they were going to say? Oh, the Judgment Day kicked him out? No. They were going to have to come up with something else besides that, because that was the only way that was going to work. So now you look at what's next for the Judgment Day. I don't know. You have to stay tuned and watch. You're going to have to stay tuned and watch, ladies and gentlemen. Now, with that being said, oh, and also tonight it's going to be Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax for the Women's SmackDown title. Let me say this. Let me run this through everybody what I'm about to say here. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way that Nia Jax is going to beat Tiffany Stratton tonight. It ain't happening. It's not happening. If anybody thinks that, they need to stop watching wrestling. It's not going to happen. Why? And I'm going to tell you why it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because they have invested enough money and invested enough time into Tiffany Stratton. They want Tiffany Stratton to go up against Charlotte Flair. They don't want Nia Jax going up against Charlotte Flair. Because if they did, they would have made that match and they would take the title off of her tonight. They're not doing that. They're not going to do it. They're going to make sure that Tiffany Stratton retains against Nia Jax so they can make the match between her and Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. So, what does that mean? I'll tell you exactly what that means. That means Cody Rhodes, and I'm switching. That means that Cody Rhodes and Rhea Ripley are probably not going to be involved in any matches at the Elimination Chamber, which means they're going to get the pay-per-view off to see who they're going to be fighting against at WrestleMania, which is a smart move because you make the ones your champions, you make your champions take a break. That's why they're doing it. Because Tiffany Stratton's going to have a break. Tiffany is going to have a break. I have not heard or seen anywhere where the world titles are going to be on the line at the Elimination Chamber. It's not going to happen unless they want to make something interesting happen. But it's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at Elimination Chamber. You're going to see Cody with a break. Gunther is going to have a break because Gunther and Jey Uso are not going to fight at Elimination Chamber. They're going to save it. They're going to save it till Mania. You're not going to see Tiffany have a match or Charlotte Flair have a match at Elimination Chamber. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Cody's going to be off. Rhea's going to be off. And that's what that is. Now, what I will say is this, and I want people to understand what I'm about to say here, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to see the United States title, the Intercontinental title, the Intercontinental Women's title, and the Women's United States title be defended, or the tag team titles from both shows be defended at Elimination Chamber. That's what they should do. If I was a booker, if I was a promoter, if I was promoting a WWE pay-per-view, I would say this. Shinsuke, you have a match at Elimination Chamber. Braun Breaker, you have a match at the Elimination Chamber. You will be putting the Intercontinental title on the line. Lyra, you and Ivy Nile will fight at Elimination Chamber with your women's IC title on the line. And Chelsea, you will be defending the title against either Meacham or B-Fab or who's the other one? Zelina Vega at the Elimination Chamber. I would get on the horn and I would tell DIY, look, this is what you're going to do. You're going to be fighting against either the Street Profits. You're going to be going up against Garza and Angel. You're going to go up against the Motor City Machine Guns, and you guys are going to duke it out in a fatal 4-way tag team match. And I would tell the Raw Tag Team Champions this. Look here, War Raiders. It's going to be Raw. Elimination Chamber is War because you guys are going to defend those titles against the Creed Brothers. That's exactly what I'll do. And I will say New Day, and as a special match, I would put the New Day against the LWO Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, I would put them in the ring and let them duke it out as well at Elimination Chamber. That's a whole card right there if they want to do that. But they're not going to do that because they don't want to go over the time when they have these pay-per-views now. They try to shorten them at 3 hours. But I tell you what won't be shortened, that's WrestleMania. WrestleMania is going to go 4 hours. Flat. There's no doubt about it. Night one is going to be, they're not going to go off. They're going to come on at 6 o'clock around here in the South, and they're going to go off the air at 10 o'clock. That Saturday and that Sunday for WrestleMania in Vegas, which is what, 2 hours ahead of us, 3 hours or something like that. So if they start at 7 here, then they're starting at 4 o'clock in Vegas. If I know my time zones and everything's correct. So yeah, that's what that is. If I was a booker, that's what I would promote those type of matches. I would want my other champions to get out there and tussle. I would love to see Braun Breaker go up against AJ Styles at Elimination Chamber, unless they're saving it for Mania. And I'll tell you like this here, I would be surprised if AJ won that title at Mania, because I know that AJ Styles does not have that much time left on his contract, and I think that he's going to ride out in the wind just like John Cena. But I'm here to tell you, Randy Orton is going to come back. So where is he going to fit in this? Randy Orton's going to come back. Where's Randy Orton going? Who is he going to fight? Because I think you can put Randy Orton and John Cena in another rivalry, in another match. That could also take place. John Cena is going to wrestle at least 30 times this year, from what I've heard from what Triple H said. He's supposed to be booked to fight 30 times this year. So he's going to be in the ring a lot this year. So we'll see what happens with big game John. If you want to put him in there for a spot match, which means he does the little elbow, you can't see me, and the AA, and get him out of there, or the STF, get him out of there like that, then fine. Do that with John. Give him short matches. Do what the Attitude Era used to do. You had 7 minutes in the ring to make something happen, from 5 to 7 minutes. Intro, both opponents intro, whether it's a tag match or a singles match. Intro, 2 minutes. You've got 5 minutes to make a story. Make it happen, then cut, next segment. That's what they did in the Attitude Era. That's why it was so like mouth-watering when it would go off the air. Because you will never know what's going to happen in the next show. So that's how it used to be. And I think they're trying to get back to that, to where it be cliffhangers left and stuff like that. But I will say this though, it's interesting to see what's going to happen coming soon. It'll be interesting to see what happens coming soon. So you're gonna have so much fun. I'm sorry guys, somebody was calling me. But you're gonna have so much fun with what's gonna happen now. We're on the road to WrestleMania. We're smack dab in the middle of it. We know that April is WrestleMania. We know that next month is going to be probably a Saturday night's main event, which will take place in March. We know that Roman Reigns WWE 2K25 is coming out next month. Of course, I'm going to try to get it to see what I can do on there. Start my storylines up against the Bloodline. Going to be interesting with that. Not only that, but also March Madness is starting next month. And, you know, it's like a huge tournament in that thing. So, you guys, sports are very interesting. We know that football is gone, but basketball is still kicking. And I want you guys to enjoy it. But also, I want you guys to enjoy your day today on Valentine's Day. Enjoy, like I said, enjoy your loved ones. This is a day of love. Spread love, show love, and be loveful. Be lovable, excuse me. And that goes with your significant other, your family, your kids. Just enjoy your day of Valentine's. I'm DDE80. I'm Mike D. Sorry about the pauses. People were calling and things like that. But until then, God bless you. God keep you. I'm out.